Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome back to another edition here of the Toot of Angling. Appreciate you guys checking out the video this morning. And I'm heading down to Lake Cherokee, Tennessee for the second Bassmaster Open starting this week down there. And actually getting not really a late start. I'm going to have 2.5 days to practice when I get down there. I'm going to practice tomorrow, Tuesday, and half a day Wednesday. And I know I've been reading on social media, most everybody's down there, they've been practicing a few days, but just about 2.5 days is about all the time I can scrounge up to go practice for these tournaments anymore. So heading down there, just wanted to give you guys sort of my thoughts on Lake Cherokee down there, and be covering the tournament all week. I'll give you guys an update after my practice every day and after the tournament. And hopefully you can learn something from it one way or the other. If I catch them good, you'll be able to learn from that. If I don't catch them, I'll explain why I didn't catch them. So something to be learned regardless over there. But regardless, I just wanted to talk a little bit about Lake Cherokee, sort of what my plan is in this tournament, sort of my game plan. And I'll be thinking about it the whole trip down there. It's about probably close to 12-hour drive from my house. But anyway, Lake Cherokee, man, I really love Lake Cherokee. There's some lakes that you really look forward to going to on the tournaments, and others you don't. But Lake Cherokee is one of those lakes I really like. I like the way it fishes. There's a lot of bass in it. There's a good mix of fish in it, different species. Sort of reminds me, it fishes a lot about like the Ozark Lakes a little bit. It's got some really nice smallmouth in the place. And first of all, as far as my plan in this tournament, it's like the plan is the same for all the other Bassmasters I have here. In my opinion, the Bassmaster Opens, it's just winner take all. You know, they only take the top 3 to the Elite Series, so it's basically like winning the lottery out of 200 and something guys to finish in the top 3 to make it. So realistically, I don't know how anyone can that can be a goal, but I mean, to me, that's not as a realistic goal as winning the tournament and making the Bassmasters Classic. So my goal, and the goal of a lot of guys in this tournament, is to win this thing and get in the Bassmasters Classic. So in doing so, since you don't have a championship you're qualifying for or anything like that, your approach has to be a little bit different. Because I know that I could probably go down here and throw a little swim bait in a Ned rig and catch a limit every day and, you know, be in check range, but that's not going to win the tournament. That's not going to do any good. So I have got to figure out some type of a plan down here to catch some bigger ones. A lot of it, really, guys, is going to depend on what the conditions are when I get down here. I don't know much about the conditions of the lake here. I mean, the only thing I know is briefly just what I've seen, you know, on some social media posts. Since the lake is on the same type of longitude as Missouri, I'm guessing the fish are going to be still pretty strong in the pre-spawn. I'm guessing water temperatures are going to be in the 50s for the most part, which is going to make fishing pretty good, and it's going to open up a variety of techniques for catching those bigger fish. I think there's going to be a lot of different ways to catch good ones in this tournament. I think there's going to be some late winter patterns going on, some pre-spawn stuff where you could probably catch some suspended fish out off the bank. I think there's going to be some bottom fish to be caught in that sort of that 5 to 10 foot zone. And then I think there's going to be a pretty good population of really shallow fish to be caught with that water temperature, especially if it starts to get up in the upper 50s. The problem that you have with Lake Cherokee, and what you have to factor into your tournament plan, is Cherokee's a tiny lake. It's not very big at all, and we've got 200 and some guys in the tournament. Most of the shallow stuff in this tournament is probably already beat up as I'm speaking. Most of the guys are down there hammering on the lake right now as I'm driving down there. So I think this tournament is going to be, I think it's going to be really difficult to win this tournament shallow at this point, simply because of the pressure on the lake. You know, if it was a little bit warmer, if the water temperature was more closer to 60 degrees and a lot of fish started to move up to spawn, possibly. But I think since we're a little bit early in the pre-spawn, I think those shallow fish will get divided up a little bit more. My plan in this tournament is to sort of approach it as an early pre-spawn deal. I'm going to be looking for those staging fish. particularly the bigger smallmouth. And in doing that, I'm going to try to really concentrate more on that 5 to 15 foot zone. I just think that that's where those type of fish that you need to win the tournament is going to be at. And those fish could be suspended or they could be on the bottom. You just don't really know. I think a lot of it depends on the day you have out there. You know, the amount of wind you have, the sunlight intensity type of day. So from that standpoint, that's where I'm going to spend my 2.5 days. I'm going to totally focus on the pre-spawn bite here. Another thing that you have to figure out in this tournament is if you want to concentrate on largemouth, smallmouth, or spotted bass. A lot of times you can catch all three doing the same thing, but in the tournament we had here a couple of years ago, you know, I concentrated heavily on smallmouth, you know, with a variety of techniques, you know, basically fishing those same type of areas a little bit farther off the bank. And I wound up catching some good smallmouth, and I lost several good smallmouth. So I think that you can win in this tournament primarily off of smallmouth if you focus on it. I think the smallmouth in this lake they're very competitive with the largemouth as far as the size goes. There's, you know, from my experience on the lake, I've caught just as many good smallmouth as I have largemouth on the lake. So that's going to be one of my key focuses. But anyway, guys, I'll keep you all updated as the week goes on. It's going to be later this evening when I get down here at the lake. Going to hit it hard tomorrow, and I'll give you guys a full report after my first day of practice tomorrow. Let you guys know how it goes. But I appreciate you guys following the tournament this week. I'll try to, you know, share some info one way or the other on it. So hope you guys are having a good day, and we'll talk later. See you.